Hello friends, in this video our topic of discussion is the concept of virtual base class. That is in the case of inheritance, which is a type of diamond shaped inheritance, we see that there are some ambiguities which comes into play, and we can solve that ambiguities in the diamond shaped inheritance by the concept of virtual base class. That is the topic of discussion of this particular video. So ambiguities may arise if two or more base classes serve to be the base class for a single derived class, and if those two base classes are derived from a single base class, in that way a diamond shaped structure results, and that brings about the ambiguities, which I will just show you how it can come and how it can be waived. So by a basic C++ program covering this concept, I will just make you understand the concept of the virtual base class, and which waives the ambiguities in the diamond shaped inheritance. So let's get started with the program, friends, and let me open the program. So this is basically the program which I have written for you to get you know the details of the concept of virtual base class. So this is the file inclusion directive, and this is the using namespace std. Class base, I've taken a class base. Protected variable is int a. Only a single integer data member a has been taken in the class base. Under the public section, I have taken a function. I've defined a function get data, in which I write like this: enter a number and C in a. That is, I take the input of this integer variable a from the keyboard, and put data function is defined over here to display the value of this data member a. So after that, I write this class derived one. This is class derived one virtual public base. Suppose this virtual is a keyword which has been used to waive off the ambiguity which should come if this virtual word would have been omitted from over here. So I will just explain it to you in a bit. So let us just go through this program first. So under this class derived one, which is derived from the base class base in a public mode, I have written one function in the public section, that is derived one, and that is nothing but the constructor. It is a default constructor which initializes the value of the data member a, which is essentially a data member of derived one class as well, because this class has been derived from the class base containing the data member a. So this a is equal to 0 is nothing but initializing the value of a by 0 by this constructor, which is a no argument default constructor. So after this, I have taken yet another class, that is class derived 2 virtual public base, similar derivation as the above derived 1 class, and similar type of concept has been also implemented over here. That is a constructor named as the class name, that is derived 2. That is also a default constructor, and it helps us to initialize the data member a with the value 0. After that, I have taken another class derived 3, and which is derived from, so this particular derived 2 class is being derived from the class base. Derived 1 class is also derived from the class base. So the class base serves as a single base class for both the derived 1 class and the derived 2 class. And after this class derived 3, let's see, derived 3 is being derived, or this class inherits the data of the derived 1 class and the derived 2 class, as it is inherited, as it is derived from the base classes derived 1 and derived 2. So there are multiple base classes, that is more than one base classes from which this derived 3 class has been derived. So it has essentially nothing in the body of this class, because everything has been implicitly derived in this derived 3 from this class derived 1 and class derived 2. So there is an ambiguity in the sense that there will be the data member int a which is present in derived 1 and that int a is also present in the derived 2 class as well. So this is a function get data and put data. They are also being inherited into this derived 1 and derived 2 classes. And after that we see that this class derived 3 has all the features which are associated with the above 3 classes. That is, it contains the data member a, it contains the function get data, put data, everything which are in these 3 above classes. After that, so if we just suppose if we just drop this virtual keyword, there will be an ambiguity in the access of the data member a in the class derived 3, because it can come from the left hand side, that is it can come from the base class to derived 1 class and then to derived 3 class. Also it can also come from the other side as well, that is from the right hand side, that is it can also come from the base class via derived 2 class and then into the derived 3 class. So from where does this variable int a is incorporated into the class derived 3 is a matter which gives rise to the ambiguity, and that ambiguity is being taken care of by use of the keyword virtual when we derive this derived 1 class and derived 2 class, each from the class base in this manner. So if we drop this virtual word keyword from both of these derivations, we see that there will be some ambiguity in the access of the data member a. So in order to take care of that particular ambiguity, we have to incorporate this keyword virtual in this derivation and as well, and in this derivation as well. So let's see what I have written in the main section. In the main section, I have just created an instance of the derived 3 class as derived 3d, and after that we call the get data function by d dot get data and the put data function d dot put data. So let's see what the program output comes. See, enter a number. Suppose enter a number means I am giving some number to the data member a originally, which is the data member of the class base and which is also a part of the class derived 1, derived 2 and derived 3. So enter a number means, suppose I am giving 4. So the value of a now becomes 4, and we see that the put data function gives us the number entered is 4. But if we would have dropped the virtual keyword from the derivation sequences of the class derived 1 and class derived 2, this program would have shown some sort of error because of the ambiguity of the access of the data member a. But in case of that use of that keyword virtual in the derivation sequences, we get away with that ambiguity and get the desired output from the program in this manner. So there will be no ambiguity left in the program. So this is nothing but the implementation of virtual base class. And I will just show you one extra bit in this program. Suppose if we just put this d dot get data in the comment section, so this line will not be executed in the program. In that case, What will be the value output by d dot put data? So that will be output to be that will be output as the value 0 from the constructor which has been defined in the derived 1 class and derived 2 classes. That is this one, derived 1 a is equal to 0, derived 2 also a is equal to 0, I have written over there. So this constructor will initialize the value of this constructor, and this constructor will initialize the value of a to zeros. But which one is the constructor, which constructor is being invoked? That is the ambiguity. But this keyword virtual takes care of that ambiguity as well. That is, which function is going to be taken as the constructor which initializes the value of the data member a. So in that situation, let's run the program and see whether there is any ambiguity. There will be no ambiguity as such because we have used the keyword virtual. But let me show you what happens there. This is a very interesting example. The number entered is 0, so there is no ambiguity, there is no error. If there would have been any ambiguity, there would have been some error in this output, but there is no error as such, so there is no ambiguity. And this number entered is 0, means the number is being initialized by any one of the constructors defined in the derived classes, derived 1 and derived 2. So we see that there is no ambiguity. So let me see if we just give some different values to the constructors and see which constructor is being invoked really. So it is a little bit interesting as well. So suppose I write this as a is equal to 1. Suppose I write this as a is equal to 1 and see after running what comes. The number entered is 1. See this. So I think the way from which the derivation comes to the ultimately to the derived 3 class is from the right hand side, that is from the side of derived 2 class, because derived 1 class has a constructor which initializes the value of the data member to be 0, and derived 2 class initializes the data member to 1. So we see in the output the number entered is 1. So I think this constructor has been invoked and not the other constructor which is written in the derived 1 class. So basically the path of inheritance comes from the base class to the derived 2 class, and from derived 2 class it goes to the derivation sequence goes to derived 3 class. So this is the way to see from where the derivation takes place, from which path, through which path the derivation takes place. Suppose I will show you another way to support this argument. Suppose I give here as suppose 0, I restore the value of 0, I give 1 over here. So now see, we'll see the value of a to be 0. So that will support my previous argument. See, the number entered is 0. So 1 never comes, 0 comes from this constructor. So this is the way the virtual concept of virtual base class works, and I have shown you a few tweaks in this concept by varying the different values of the constructors, and also keeping this to be ineffective, that is the get data function not being displayed, and get the constructors working. And now let us go to the previous situation, that is d dot get data now is not commented, This is a valid line of code now. This will be an executable line of code, and let me restore the values of the constructors of the data member A in the constructors. So here it is 0. Here I will make it 0 to make it look in the original way. So now the program will show the previous sort of output, the output which I have shown you for the in the first instance. So let's again run and see. Enter a number. Suppose I am giving 3. The result will be 3. The number entered is 3. So it runs perfectly all right. And I think I have made everything clear in terms of the concept of the virtual base class and the diamond shaped inheritance in C++. And still, if you have any doubts and queries in your mind after this entire explanation, you can well post your doubts and queries into the comment section below so that I can address them. Thanks for watching this video, and please don't forget to like, share and subscribe to DigiGuide. Thanks again.